Okay, adventurers, well met, and welcome back to the Inquisition podcast, where we dive into the fantastic minds behind the chaos and the creativity and all that palaver. Imagine rolling a natural 20, right? How cool is that? And instead of finding treasures in a dungeon, it changes your entire life. Tonight we're chatting with someone who just didn't build adventures around a table. They built their entire business around taking players on a real-life quest across Ireland. Come on now. And somehow they even convinced Geralt of Rivia, yes, Geralt of Rivia, Doug Cockle, to come along for the ride. Gabrielle, we're going to be welcome to the Inquisition from Natural 20 Tours. Are you ready? So let's jump on the call and let's see how the session got on. Okay, Gabrielle, thank you for joining me tonight.
Absolutely.
And welcome to the Inquisition podcast. So how have you been getting on lately?
I've been getting on great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not so bad. I'm tired and I've got a massive sty in my eye. So just excuse the big lump in my eye. He's just living there for a few days. But before we get into dragons and dice and the incredible adventures that you've been getting on with, I want to go right back to one of the biggest decisions that you've ever made, probably. You weren't originally from Ireland, so what made you pack everything up and start completely with a new chapter there?
Oh, gosh. Okay, a little bit of background context. I have a bachelor's in opera. I have a bachelor's in vocal performance. And I was touring around Ireland about 10 years ago as a soloist. And I fell in love with the country and I thought it was absolutely amazing. And the last night of my first ever trip, I met a guy who was doing we were helping get his choral program kicked off, and I knew he'd seen me perform that night, and I loved Ireland, and I wanted to come back, and so I asked him for a job, and now 10 years later, that man is my fiance, which is pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah, brilliant.
But yeah, so I just love the country and just kind of made the opportunity happen for myself, and then wound up in an even better situation than I could have dreamed of.
So I take he's got you well trained in drinking Guinness and James, all the Irish stuff. What's his name, by the way?
My dad would have claimed that he had part in that training, but the Guinness probably did come from my partner. Yeah.
Might taste a little bit different over the pond, but when you get it there straight from the source, it tastes a lot better.
Yeah.
What's your partner's name, by the way? Sorry, Gabs.
His name's Keith.
Keith, hi Keith. Yeah, thank you for keeping this lovely lady in the gorgeous country of Ireland and getting on with some fantastic D&D stuff. Looking at your profile, by the way. So where did you grow up, my friend?
I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and then moved to West Virginia for a time. But yeah.
Was Ireland always going to be the dream, or was it with the partner that you decided it was going to be the dream from then?
So a little bit of both. I, from a really young age, knew that I either wanted to move across the country to Colorado or I wanted to move to Europe whenever I was grown up. I don't know why. That was just in my mind, I was gonna just do that. And then when I fell in love with Ireland so early in my life, it was well, I guess it's Europe then.
Yeah. Or being an opera singer, of course, like Rome or somewhere like that. So Florence singing in the gorgeous halls of Italy. What surprised you the most then when you arrived to Ireland?
What inspired me the most?
What surprised you the most?
Oh, surprised me. Do you know what? Actually, so socially, I find Ireland can be quite surprising because I'm sure, as a Liverpudlian, coming over, you know how friendly the Irish are. It's so easy to have good crack with the Irish, But, getting to actually know an Irish person is really difficult. Because they're so there for a great time, for a casual friendship. But then if you actually want to get to know them on a deeper level, the Irish are quite guarded. And there's real historical context for that, of course. But yeah, I think that was probably the most surprising thing for me is that making friends is a multi-year trajectory when it comes to making really valuable friendships in Ireland.
Oh yeah, you got to build that. It's like Scousers, with us. You got to build them building blocks because we've been tarnished so many times. You're hang on, I don't trust you. And you got to build. You got to climb up that wall into the tall wall.
Yeah.
What's something people outside of Ireland don't appreciate until they visit?
Yeah, absolutely. And even after that, it's hard to know, you know, like, because whenever I first visited Ireland, I was like, oh my God, the friendliest people on the planet. Like, I would be rolling in friends whenever I got here. And like, the truth is, I've got some really valuable friendships here, but it is just the same as like when you're making adult friendships anywhere, I think, really. But yeah, it can be a bit tricky.
Of course, yeah, no, but okay, find a little bit about D&D and yourself. When did tabletop RPGs first enter your life?
Oh gosh, so I, like so many of us, was a 2020 convert. So
Same.
the pandemic happened. I was in my house and I was like, hey, what if I? Because so a little bit more additional context. I have a master's in literature and publishing, and after that, I decided I might go into video game journalism. And amidst that part of that journey, I was like, what if I just like start listening to D&D podcasts? And then I was like, oh no, this is going to be my personality from here on out.
once you go in, there's no coming back out. And I've said that
No way.
thousands of times. It's just whenever you get that little bit of inspiration for D&D and you go, you know what, I think I'm going to jump in. Once you jump in, that's such a big pool to dive down. There's no way back out. There's no rope. There's no nothing. You are
No
in for
way.
good, right? So, were you the player at first, or did you jump behind the DM screen?
Okay, so I'm actually also one of those tragic people that can very rarely get the occasion to like actually play. Like, I've never gotten to play a long campaign, like heartbreakingly. I've gotten to do like a fair few amount of one shots, and I recognize that if I did just jump into DMing, that I would not have this problem anymore.
Yeah.
I do recognize that. But I'm selfish and I want to play as a player for a little while longer. But the reality is like I'm probably going to be picking up DMing like this year, largely for like my stepkids and my partner for the time being, because I think that'll be like a really fun and safe environment to try all of that out. But also just because like I love storytelling and I love writing, and it's like another exercise in those in that skill set, you know.
I love the way you said selfish there as becoming to a player, because it's something that I've encountered. I started DMing first before I was a player, but now I'm a player at the moment.
Okay.
And it was something that I said, and I said, like, I am enjoying being a player, but I do really enjoy being a GM, a DM.
Cool.
And I said my words were being a player was such a selfish thing to do, because when you're the DM, I'm everyone else. You know, I'm the bad guys, I'm the townspeople, I'm the sheep, I'm the box of hecklers that over in the corner. I'm all that. Like, so
Yeah.
it was such a selfish role being a player. Like, I'm thinking for me now for who I was as a player. But I love the way you picked that up.
Oh yeah, I mean you have to acknowledge it, right? Were you, so you started as a DM then?
I started as a DM. Yeah, I
Okay.
wanted to get
How
a
long
party.
did you do DMing before you became a player?
So I started round about the end of COVID into my D&D journey, and in my tattoo shop, the guys that worked at the time, we were all into D&D, and I wanted to create a little community going, because I wanted to get into it. I didn't know much about it, and but I knew I wanted to love it. So we run a little campaign, and we run the Mines of Fendelver, which my heart has never left.
Aw.
And we had so much fun. It was just the three of us. It was me, my work colleague, and her fiance. And it just started to build. Like, a week later, we got one more other player. A week later, we got another player, until the point where we had about 6 or 7 or 8 of us.
Cool.
And we just had a great time. We've done that for about a year. And we've switched it up lately with some new players, and I jumped on being a player. So I've been really enjoying it. Well, at first there was a double DM. Me and my old work colleague double DM'd for the Feywild. But I struggled with the Feywild, and I said to Charlotte, listen, I'm struggling here. I think I'll be more better as a player, because I'm not giving my full potential as a GM. Because I want to get people excited. I want to give them that fire that they have in their belly, and go home with like that feeling like, you know, you just came out of a concert, or it's that feeling, right? I weren't given that, like, you know, so I became a player. And yeah, the Feywild absolutely made me a mincemeat, like, you know, as it does. It's great, but Jesus Christ, I've got to be on my toes all the time. But I'd like to get back to GMing. I really want to do Ravenloft.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, and especially with all the other stuff coming out, I believe they've just brought out. What's the first campaign called? Why has it left my brain? Greyhawk
Oh,
should be coming
sick.
back out, so that should be awesome. Do you
Yeah.
ever remember your first character, Gabs?
My first character. Oh, you know what? Actually, I didn't get to play with her, but I fondly remember building her. It was a Southern Belle barbarian, and we were going to be joining a campaign that was like going and just like like a multiverse kind of campaign, but starting in quite a fantastical setting. And I remember her overriding goal was to take down the patriarchy and the march and like the multiverse.
Of course.
And she was a big old Southern Belle barbarian, and I thought
Okay.
she was sick.
Oh, proper
And
country
she had a
girl.
glass blowing rod as well. That I used that as my starter tools. And I remember I had planned that like whenever she would take down a foe, she would like replicate like the glass blowing kind of thing. I obviously didn't have any knowledge of how long glass blowing takes, right? But I remember I would like crush the glass I made to represent the fragility of like masculinity and the patriarchy. I had this like deep thought on how I wanted to portray her, but I never got to play with her.
I love when
Maybe someday.
your first characters has always got so much detail and story, and I love that.
For sure.
I'm sorry for swearing. Where the fuck did glass blowing come from? And you.
It was honestly just like a kid in a candy store situation. I was looking through an array of things that I could have, and I was like, why not?
Yeah, why
Like,
not?
why not this? I could make something happen with glass blowing tools.
Yeah, you go like to Blackpool Beach or something, and they've got them people who like squeeze the glass,
Yeah.
and they've got the gorgeous multicolored sand in it with the little cork
Yep.
on. That's definitely
That would have been me.
Our
Yeah.
southern girl right there. What was her name?
What was her name?
She sounds country.
I can't remember.
She
I
sounds so
can't remember
country.
what her name was, but it would have been something that sounded great in a southern accent.
So,
You know?
falling in love with your storytelling, what does D&D give you that video games or films can't?
Ooh. Well, I'm always going to be such a sucker for video games. I do absolutely adore them, and I love narrative design. But the special thing that's like not a new observation at all, but the special thing about TTRPGs is that you are the direct influencer of it. You are the writer in real time, and that is like such a special experience, especially when you can share that with other like-minded people who want to continue crafting that story. So yeah, it's the direct influence that you can have on the story that makes it so special.
Oh, most definitely. Why do you think tabletop games are exploding in popularity at the moment?
Gosh, I feel like so many reasons. One of the really interesting social things that's happening right now is that younger generations are trying to move more analog again. Like there's proof of this. They're trying to get like iPods back and like Zooms,
Really?
you know, and I think there's probably some kids that are like into cassettes and like Walkmans, you know. But I think with that hunger for analog and probably for like non-AI slop and all those kinds of things, like I think sitting around and just like being unplugged, telling a story with your friends is like as analog as you can get it.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it is like prehistory
Yeah.
analog, you know.
They say that they want to be more retro, going back to the old times and doing things properly. Do you really want to rewind your tape or rewind your cassette to listen to the story? I
For
don't
sure.
think because you can get it instantly now. You can just press go back to the next song and you'll get it instantly. Shit, man, we had to rewind shit and we had patience, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, those VCRs, I remember having to do that and making sure that you didn't do it badly. Like that was important.
Oh yeah, most definitely, and it could potentially eat your tape. And you were like, you had to pull it all
I remember
out.
once I had my first car was a huge 92 Buick LeSabre, and it had a cassette player in it. And an ex-boyfriend of mine had given, like his dad had given me like his whole collection of cassettes, and he had great taste in music.
Okay.
And so I had like a whole Beach Boys summer with this
Nice.
Buick. And I remember one time though, it got way too hot and I had left my cassettes in my car and my Beach
Oh,
Boys
it's
cassette
flammable?
melted and it
Yeah.
sounded like Alvin and the Chipmunks when I started driving next.
Which is nothing wrong in that. You can't beat a bit of Alvin and Chipmunks. I've got that intro song etched into my brain.
Yeah.
My friend, Natural 20 Tours.
Yes, my baby.
Fuck yeah. Most people dream up about businesses over coffee. You somehow decided to combine travel with Dungeons and Dragons. Where on earth did you get that idea from, you genius?
Oh, thank you. So basically, my partner and I, for the last like roughly 6 years for me, much longer than that for him, we've been working in tourism. And so actually we were both professional musicians prior to working in tourism, and so our bag became doing music specialist tours. So we would take bands and choirs from North America largely to travel and perform in the UK and Ireland.
Sick.
And we had to kind of spontaneously go independent, like fully independent in the last year or so. And we were like, why not make that a little bit scarier, but a little bit more fun? And because we're both like big TTRPG nerds and like D&D enthusiasts and the like, that we were like, let's put all of our skills in one area.
Wow.
And because it's also not a thing that we're seeing at the moment. So there are events and retreats where you can play D&D in one place and you can be there for like a few nights. But what we do is actually taking people around a country, having a campaign that is directly related to the places that they're sightseeing,
Wow.
and then playing in really cool venues. And so usually it's like 5 or 6 nights and you get 4 sessions of D&D and like these rad venues all over Ireland or a country in the UK.
I need to be involved. I have to be involved. I'm wondering.
Hey man, we're always looking for GMs. You can be one of my UK GMs.
Oh, don't start. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. I will snatch your hand. Especially there's a place I've always been wanting to go in Ireland, because I've been to Dublin many a times with friends, and I have pissed up the walls in every pub in Dublin that you could mention. But my friends all they want to do is that. I always had the dream to go to Mount Pilier's Hill, and I want to go and see the Hellfire Club. Have you ever been?
No, actually I haven't.
So the hill upon Mount Pilier's Hill, just on the suburbs of Dublin, there's a forest that surrounds the hill, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, people around, but I think I'm right. This is where the first stories of where how did she run away from me? The woman that screams. What's she called?
Banshee.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's supposed to be where the first stories of the Banshee came from, and there's supposed to be a great story. The house on top of the hill supposed to be owned by the devil. One stormy night, the devil.
I need to make note of that.
Oh yeah, Mount Pilier's Hill, and the Hellfire Club at the top of it is where apparently all the old aristocratic Satanists used to do their bits and bobs. Maybe somewhere to do a bit of a Ravenloft campaign. I don't know if it's
absolutely safe. That sounds sick as hell.
Might have to check the safety of that
I'm genuinely
place.
Just taking that note now, because that sounds really cool and I need to look into that.
Maybe take a Swiss Army knife with you just for safety purposes. Not properly. Please don't do that properly. Okay, so do people think you're slightly mad doing something like this? Because it seems like a lot of work, right? Or do you think the workload is okay for you?
I mean, both answers can be yes to that. The workload is crazy, but I do feel I can handle it. Like I said, like I am very uniquely placed in this area of work that I've designed for myself. Like I have this skill set. I'm very, very well equipped to put together tours. I mean, our typical tours are taking like, on average, it's around like 75 people, like usually like a mix of students and adults. And I'm figuring out all of their meals, all of their accommodation, all of their accessibility needs, all of their like various things, attractions and all of that. So like when I've got that, I think that would be the hardest thing to figure out if you went the other way around. You know, like if you were just a D&D enthusiast and decided to put tourism on top of it,
Of course.
that would be really, really difficult because moving that many people and dealing with the not fun details of all of the operations is hard and it takes years. And I've already done those years. And so I think I now just get to tack on the really, really fun part of being like, okay, let's put storytelling in this. Let's work with amazing storytellers, you know? So I think the workload is big, but it's one that I'm like cherishing, and I really, really hope it takes off the way I think it can.
But through your experiences, you've got the tools on your utility belt already to attack and conquer all that stuff. So
Yeah. And I've got great people on my team as well,
I bet.
which helps, you know?
Yeah. Hello, team, and hopefully meet you one day.
Yes.
Was tourism or D&D your stronger background?
In terms of passion, D&D.
Yes.
In terms of like
Technicality.
execution and skills, probably tourism.
How much planning goes into one adventure then, mate? Come on.
Oh, so much. Like so much. Like I spend like weeks on an itinerary to make sure it's like actually perfect, and then like executing it, that's like once we are confirmed that people are going on that tour, that's months of work, you know, like so many months. But then like the campaign itself, sometimes that's like I'll be brewing on an adventure for ages and I'm like, all right, and now time to just put that onto a page, and that won't be that hard, you know? But you know yourself, like being a GM, like writing anything down is like, oh, and now that I've actually put this pen to paper, that idea is shit. Or that idea could use 17 different tweaks on it to make it actually what I want it to be, you know?
You know what, Gab? It's the way I do my tattooing as well. Because, you know, family, work, businesses, the law, I do everything on the fly.
Do ya?
Yes.
Okay.
Even when I run a campaign, it's all on the fly. Notes will be remembered.
Power to you, man.
Notes will be remembered of key points and plots, but we just do it on the fly, only because I've never had time to really sit down and write. And then at the end of doing something on the fly, we've just macramated this story that's just been so natural because it's come out of the mist.
Oh, for sure. And that is something to be treasured for sure. I definitely don't write in a way that I think is over prescriptive. It's more that like, I think because of like being tour specific, like if I'm pulling in Irish mythology, I want to make sure that I have like tacked on those really specific details that make it grounded and make it the reason that you visited Giant's Causeway today, or that you're going to the Hill of Ishnok, you know? So those are the reasons that I have to like plan and be very, very specific.
And being in Ireland as well, like, you know, the land of all the mystical lore of all this beautiful stuff. And this is where all the films of like the likes of Hellboy and all the other ones, they all end up in Ireland in somewhat way. So you must be buzzing being in these locations, and is the one that I'm sure every time is magic, is the one that's close to your heart that you can remember.
Well, so, Samhain is really, really special. And that's kind of because like, it was like the genesis of making this company. So if you don't know, a lot of the modern traditions and modern associations with Halloween started in Ireland. So like that's the basis of the basis of Halloween is in Ireland. And so Samhain is that word.
Hallows Eve, am I right? Hallows Eve, that's where that would come from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I think like getting to explore this idea through the lens of making like a Halloween campaign, because I already love Halloween anyways, and then knowing that it originated in this land that I've chosen to be in probably for the rest of my life, like it's very special to think about specifically Samhain here.
I love that. I named my daughter after my favourite season. She was born on...
Yeah,
she was born in autumn. So she was named...
Oh, lovely.
She's actually that special. She's a Duran's girl. She was born on Duran's Day. She was born on the last light of autumn, which is like
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, which was the autumn equinox. I think it happens every 100 years.
Gorgeous.
So she was going to get called something else. She got called Autumn there on the spot.
Yeah, that's so special.
Oh, it is indeed. Writing adventures, I love this part from your website. Every tour has its own custom written adventure. How do you write an adventure around the real locations? I know we've just touched that a little bit, but basically I've just touched that really, haven't we, to be fair?
No, but I can expand, don't worry.
No
I can be verbose. Yeah, so basically so let's think. What is the order of events here? For a lot of our Irish tours, and Scottish tours, we go through the Celtic calendar. And so if there is a very specific event like Beltane in Scotland or Bealtaine in Ireland, like we will choose that kind of event and then figure out what is the grand finale kind of toward that. And then writing the campaign is filtered through that lens, and choosing the sightseeing is all intact with those. But how I write it itself is just lots of history research. Like I am a huge history nerd, and like I just love researching generally, love mythology. Basically that whole like bookshelf behind me is like history and mythology books. Like anything I can get my hands on to understand more about the people that existed prior to all of this technology is like something I want to know, something I want to understand. And so yeah, lots of research is basically how I write it all.
Getting to know you through this podcast, mate, I can just say I think you're fantastic. What you're doing is brilliant, and I'm glad the D&D community has you in its grasp, because I think someone like you is important for the likes of this TTRPG world. So I'm going to swear again. I'm so sorry, guys. Sometimes we do, but fucking well done. Absolutely well done.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Have you ever visited somewhere and instantly thought like, oh my God, yeah, this has to be, we need this spot? And then is there a trouble between the locations, like national trusts or whatever, where they're like, oh no, you can't, or this and that? Or have you ever had to fight tooth and nail for places?
So, fighting tooth and nail, no. But getting an inkling as soon as I visit a place, 1000%. A lot of the times, actually, like national trust places are actually pretty chill. Like usually they're pretty cool and easy to work with. Those are OPW sites over here. Mm-hmm. But generally speaking, I can I can be inspired very easily. And that could just be a riotous imagination within me or a problem, I'm not sure. But I can be inspired by a lot. Yeah. But yeah, it's I mean, one of the places that I'm really excited about making work is actually the Roman baths in Bath. Wow. So they're absolutely fabulous. And they've got like the pump room, which is next door. And that's going to be on our Regency England tour. And so you're going to be able to do like a morning session, if all goes well. You'll be able to do a morning session in the pump room and then filter into afternoon tea. And it's just so like perfect for the way that I want to write the Regency England tour.
I can already feel like elven spring water music to go with like the tranquil
beautiful
noises of the bathhouses and
I know, yeah.
I think I'll be going to that one. Are there any hidden gems players wouldn't expect?
Oh, well, I suppose for like, in order to not set expectations too high and to also leave a nice surprise, we don't disclose the venues until like much closer, or we won't be disclosing venues until much closer to the events actually happening. And so like, you know, the general area you're going to be around, but then like the venue itself where you're playing the game is going to be a little bit of a surprise.
The magic of just getting in touch with someone via message and them getting back to you is amazing, right? This is how I roll. This is how I do what I do. Just having the confidence just to have a little type, and just you're only in the same position as you're in now, so you may as well just take that stab in the dark and see where it leads you. And it has led me to everyone that's on this show. So I love the way you said that, like, because it does remind me of myself and embarking on this journey that we're all on at the moment, which is this massive D&D tidal wave. So I believe you got Doug to come down and play with you in Ireland, right?
Oh yeah. So we, in exchange for being able to film a bunch of it, we asked him to come over, and we obviously paid him, and we like went on this fun journey. And like the pièce de résistance of that journey was filming a one shot that like friends of ours at Hearthfire Media had put together with some of Old Oak Games, Beyond the Woods, Tir Nascot setting, or not Tir Nascot necessarily, but just part of the Beyond the Woods setting. And Tall Nerd Apollo, I'm sure like everyone seems to have heard of him. He is so well networked, but if you haven't, he's lovely. But yeah, we all got to then play, and we organized the rental of the castle so that we could play with Doug in this space. And it was just like one of those things where you're like, wow, didn't know that was like on my bucket list, because I didn't know I could be audacious enough to say that was on my bucket list, you know? But now it's ticked off.
Oh, did you sleep that night?
Barely.
It's like one of them moments where you just sit back and everything's gone quiet and everyone's gone home and done their bits, and you're like, what was that about, man?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that the moment you had?
Yeah, and like luckily enough, like my partner is he is the co-founder of this company, and so he was with us on that promotional tour and everything. And so I got to like at night be like, oh my god, can you believe that just happened? And so I was just like vibrating, like so excited every day that was a thing that I'd gotten to do, you know. And like Doug is such a nice goofball of a man as well. Amazing. Like it was so easy to just work with him and have fun and film a bunch of stuff with him, you know.
You'll have to introduce me. I've got two awesome questions after before we move on about this situation. Number one, did he ever slip into Geralt's voice while travelling?
Did he or did I? Because the answer is yes to both.
Did he? But did you? Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. We'll roll with that one.
Yeah, no. In the one shot that we recorded, there was a little skit that the GM had written where I was basically like, it was a wink and a nod. I was meant to do Geralt's voice. And so I tried. All I got was the gruff, like, kind of sound from that he did. But yeah, he pulls out the Geralt voice at the drop of a hat. The man is very, very, very happy to do it and great at doing it.
What a fucking legend. The one to only ever do it rather than Mr. Cockle himself. The other question to go with that was, has he spoken about Ben's star? Or have you spoken to Ben?
I haven't spoken to Ben, but I think Doug knows that I'm a big fan. Because who isn't, you know? Ben's so fabulous, and he's such a wonderful face of D&D at the moment, especially. But yeah, so I know that I am like a degree removed from Ben at the moment, and I will capitalize on that chance when I feel I can.
Oh yeah. How many messages to Doug do you give him a week about this situation?
Absolutely none. I'm very graceful about it.
If you're listening, you know it's in her heart. It's in my heart as well, sir. So if she gets the okay, can I tag along, please? I just want to meet some of my heroes. You went into musical theatre then, once, like you said, and you sang opera, which I'd love to hear one day. Where did that obsession begin?
Oh gosh, like before I could talk. I've been singing like before I could put sentences together, like all babies do, and then it just really stayed a part of my personality. Yeah, I was in like every choir and show I could possibly get into, like well through college, and then I moved to Ireland and was trying to get my feet under me, so I took a couple breaks off of that, and then I did a little bit of community musical theater here and found like the group of the loveliest people ever, and I haven't gotten to do a musical since because work has been so busy, but like I still sing every single day.
Oh yeah.
I just don't get to sing for an audience anymore.
Your content creation is fantastic. Beautiful, lovely set and aesthetic. When did content creation become a part of your life?
Off and on for like since 2020, really. I had to. So when I was in that master's for publishing, I was the assistant editor for a book that degree publishes each year, and it's a book of works for like submitted entries from writers and poets and stuff around the world, really. But I was the assistant editor for that, and in that process I kind of had to like help manage the team that ran our socials as well, and I was kind of putting that forward, and I was like, okay, so this is something that I am doing now. And then after that I ended up in like a marketing job where I was writing copy for a company that shall not be named because they suck. And then yeah, and then I kind of like, that was like tangentially related to content creation, but pretty much around 2020 when I was doing all of the video game journalism and like streaming and recording like gameplay videos and writing essays and doing the occasional video essay that never made it to the light of day because I was like, it's not perfect yet, and so then I never posted them. But
I love the way creatives do this throughout their time and their experiences through, no matter what job, if they like it or not. We take all the tools and the weapons with us and we stick them on our utility belt, and then eventually create something that we've learned through our past to put something that we're really dedicated for. And I think you do that great, mate.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
At all. What's harder, running a business or creating the content around it?
Oh God. In different ways, they're equally as difficult as each other, but I'd say that it's can sometimes be a little bit more like pulling teeth when it comes to the content creation part, but less so now that I'm in the focused direction that I am, because right now it's like just TTRPGs. Like, I just want to learn about the systems. I just want to talk about D&D, and having that as a really, really clear goal makes it a lot easier.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And also because like I want to get into like actual plays. Like I want to be doing more of them. I stream a couple of actual plays on D8 Dungeon, and so I want to just do more of that kind of performance. That's scratching the performance itch for me now that I don't get to do musicals and operas. So yeah. So
well,
sometimes tricky, but they trade.
We should get you invited into one of our projects that we might have running secretly underneath the rug at the moment. So we would love to have you on. And come and play with us at some time.
I'd love to be on. And also, like, you're in Liverpool, right?
I'm in Liverpool, yes.
Yeah, so we're neighbours.
Neighbours, we are just across the pond.
I could absolutely come over anytime.
I think there's nearly every Scouser in the city that originates from here has got some sort of Celtic background because of the situation that Liverpool is within Britain, and the way Britain likes to shrug it under the rug. So nearly every Scouser you'll see has got a Celtic second name, or their nan, or their wife, or it's either Irish, Scottish, or Welsh, or whatever. So that's the reason why we get on with the Irish so bad. I think we're like just basically brothers and sisters, really. Like so.
Oh yeah, your ancestors were Irish. Like,
oh yeah.
Like the famine happened, you know.
In fact, I didn't know about my second name is Siri, spelled Swerey, and I didn't know the originality of it. And I went to a coat of arms in Dublin while the lads were on the piss, and I was about to join them, but I just wanted to get some things clear first. So I run into the coat of arms and I said, "Siri, mate, the second name, is that Irish?" And the fellow went, "Oh yes, it most definitely. You're up there on the somewhere across the left." And then my name was on the crest, like, so. I was so happy with that, like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I found out I was Irish, actually. Okay, mate, we're going to go with the quickfire tavern question rounds. Are you ready? So at the end of every show, I give you quick 5 questions to answer that are based on D&D and the fun things, and to get your brain ticking. Are you ready?
Oh, God, okay.
Nervous. You can recruit any fictional character into your adventure and party. Who is it?
Aragorn. Okay. Son of Arathorn.
Oh, well, why not? Either that or Geralt. Number 2, you can only play one class for the rest of your life. Which one was it?
Druid.
Druid. Ooh, okay. Of course, the Irish descent inside and all that makes sense. You're only allowed to visit one fantasy world forever. Which one? Middle Earth, The Witcher, The Forgotten Realms, or Tamriel?
I think it has to be Middle Earth. But that
Okay.
feels like sacrilege, but I think it's Middle Earth.
I would do that too. I'll go straight to Hobbiton and enjoy their wares. If a dragon lands outside your house, do you fight it or befriend it?
I'll befriend 1,000%.
If you can.
I'd get eaten in a second, but I would die knowing that I tried.
Inside its mouth going, I still like you as a friend. Final roll. You roll a natural 20. What real life dream are you hoping that roll grants you?
Oh.
The last one's always a tough one.
Okay. So do you watch Dropout?
I don't.
Oh my god. Okay, you've got homework.
Okay.
So Dimension 20 on Dropout is like career goals beyond belief, you know? So I think Nat 20 situation is being DM'd by Brennan Lee Mulligan.
I'm stuck trying to catch up with Campaign 4. I'm watching Age of Umbria. I'm trying to still catch up on Mighty 9.
Yeah.
I love Brendan Lee Mulligan, so I'm getting the same thing with Campaign 4 at the moment. I'm getting that balance.
Yeah, Critical Role is so special, but there's just something about, like, I love Brennan's, like, flavor of DM. Like, Matt Mercer is so special, but, like, I feel like I need to, like, be so intent when I'm watching Critical Role, because it's like, this is 4 hours and I can't skip anything.
No.
And that's really hard to keep up with.
I'm not saying in a bad way, but Matt is my favourite DM of all time. But I can pick back up 5 minutes later after not listening to him and still be enticed. Brendan, you've got to listen, because you will miss it and something amazing might have just happened. But Gabrielle, my friend, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been absolutely brilliant hearing about how you combine travel, storytelling and tabletop gaming into something genuinely unique. If anyone's watching has ever dreamed of playing D&D in castles, ruins or incredible landscapes, definitely go and check out this lady's work, Natural 20 Tours, and thank you so much for joining the Inquisition. Just for everyone watching, can you, for one last time, say who you are, what you represent, and where they can find you, please?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much for having me on. I've been begging the public to get me on podcasts lately.
I can tell by your bio.
But yeah, so you can find me at Tales of Gabrielle on Instagram, and you can find my company Natural 20 Tours on Instagram and TikTok. You can find me on TikTok as well, but I'll be honest with you, I don't manage that. My partner manages it because I refused to have another social media to my name. And so every now and then he hands me an iPad and says, your TikTok homework is here. But it's just my posts from Instagram. So in one way or another, you'll see all the same stuff.
Oh, mate, it's a pleasure. I'm glad we've finally got to speak, and I can't wait to see what you've got planned for the future. And I definitely am going to be on tour with you somewhere wherever you've got planned.
Amazing.
I can't wait. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
See you soon.